This is what if Deku had Cryokinesis Part 2. Alright, I already recorded Part 2, but I forgot to turn my mic back on. So I'm not using headphones this time. So if the background noise is more apparent, I'm sorry. But I'm going to speed through Part 2 because I got past the USJ the first time and I forgot to turn on my mic the whole time, so I'm going to speed past it. I don't even remember where I got through. I went from the entrance exam to all the way past the USJ. Okay, so Deku and Bakugo would go to the UA entrance exams, doing perfectly fine on the written portion. Deku getting a 95 with Bakugo getting an 80. Eventually, they would go to the presentation to know what to do during the robot exam, and Ito would say the same thing without the muttering part about Deku because Bakugo stops that. And President Mike was going to say, I was going to explain that, but you interrupted me. Ito would apologize and continue on with his life. Now, to the gate. I'm going to say Bakugo and Izuku are in the same one this time, with everyone else in their canon gates. Now, when we go into the gates open, Bakugo rushes off because it's Bakugo, and Deku rushes after her. President Mike says follow those two, and then they would proceed to go explode a bunch of robots. Now, eventually Uraka would get trapped, and Bakugo would go and help. But by help, it means go test her power out on a robot, destroying the whole, and when I say whole, I mean the whole fucking Mock City. Like, it's all destroyed. I don't know why I'm talking like this. I'm trying to get through it, because when you have to record something twice, you don't want to do it. You don't want to do it again. But anyway, she destroyed the whole Mock City, and Deku would put out the fire, because there was fire. Which, the fire, since Deku put out the fire, he stopped people inhaling smoke, killing partially some people. Maybe killing some people, I don't know. They would get called into the principal's office, and they got told right then and there their points. Deku got 169 points. Nice. Baku got 420 because she destroyed the whole city. Also nice. Don't understand the 420, but nice. But they said, we want to be heroes. But he wasn't really concerned, like, oh, of course you guys want to be heroes. You guys came to the best hero school. My question is, what's your full power? Like, absolute full power right now, under any circumstances. And they said at the same time, but using different words, Baku would say, explosion. I can nuke all of Japan. But Deku would say, I can freeze over all of Japan. But they would say it at the same time. And Nezu's like, oh god, I have two demigods up in this bitch. Like, he's just like, oh, god damn it. It says, well, welcome to UA, come back in 2 weeks. Come back on Monday, basically 2 weeks from now. And they would do as such. But by this time, they would know they both like each other. Would they do anything about it? No, they're waiting for the right time. Aizawa's little test. Let's just skip to it. Bakugo, during the ball throw, because she got 420 points, would go first. She would say she got 72 meters. And then threw it. And got infinity. She didn't use her full power either. If she used her full power, she might, quite literally, need to pay for UA damages again. Well, no, not again, but she would need to pay for UA damages that time, so she didn't use her full power. Everyone would keep going and saying what their throw was in their middle school. Deku would say, oh, it was 75. And then threw it and also got infinity. Well, he didn't throw it. He threw it up in the air and then let his eyes hit it, which got it to infinity. But, like, let's say he launched it and he got, like, 100 meters by himself. And then he threw ice all the way to 100 meters and hit it into space, getting infinity. Yay. And it's basically Bakugo and Deku competing for first place. And eventually eventually would end up them both getting first place at the end of the day, and everyone else just goes to canon. And maybe like, both first place, how? It's because either they both got first place in something because they did the exact same number, or Baku got first place or Deku got first place, and Deku got second place or Baku got second place. Simple as that. Now let's get to the Heroes vs. Villains, Class 1A. Of course, it would be Baku and Izuku versus Todoroki and Ida. Todoroki would keep freezing the building, but Izuku would, at this point in time, he can manipulate other people's ice, and even to a small extent, water. But Baku doesn't know this. He's been keeping this a secret. So he's been, shall I say, taking the ice from Todoroki that every time he releases it and puts it into small little compact balls. He has 5. He has like 5 by the time he gets to the room with the bomb where Todoroki and Ida are waiting. And then before Todoroki can send off more ice, he throws the 5 balls of ice to Todoroki and then expands the ice around Todoroki's body. All the while, Bakugo was beating up Ida way more than necessary, causing Ida to go unconscious, bleeding way more than he probably should be as a human. They would both touch a bomb. Ida would go to the recovery girl, and Deku would unfreeze Todoroki. Now we're gonna time skip a couple of weeks into the USJ event. Now, it would go the same with Asui seeing who's the strongest in class, and the class being pretty much evenly split between it either being Izuku or Bakugo. And then Asui let's say Mina said that it'll just have to lead up to a fight. So, continuing forward from that point on, Baraka would still fangirl about 13. 13 would be glad that she has some fans, but I don't know if this is she or he, so I'm just going to say it's a she. 13 would be glad that she has some fans, and continue to explain the whole thing. Now, the moment Kurogiri and the rest of the villains got there, Kurogiri immediately teleported all the students to random areas. Bakugo in the fire area, Izuku in the ice area. Water area. Izuku just froze over the water, freezing the villains inside the water. And then Asui landed with Mineta, and then they walked to land. Like, that's how simple that goes. You may be asking, why did it happen so fast? Well, the answer is actually quite simple. I feel like they wouldn't know that Bakugo is strong, so they would try to quickly deal with her. But eventually, Izuku would start helping Aizawa with villains in the Nomu, so Aizawa wouldn't get hurt, but 13 would still get hurt because she was trying to deal with Kurogiri and got the same thing happen to her. She got her back broke. Yeah, take it which way you want. No, joking. But, yeah. So 13 would be in the same condition she was in, but Aizawa would be better. And the Nomu was tasked to kill Deku by Shigaraki, or the chap-lipped man-child. But it wasn't working because Deku could keep freezing him enough to the point where the Nomu couldn't move. I goddamn hope I have my mic on this time. But anyway, eventually All Might would get there, and because the Nomu was constantly ripping himself to get out the ice, and Deku would just keep walking back every time the Nomu got close, yeah, All Might had an easier time dealing with the Nomu because shock absorption was pretty much almost completely used up by this point in time, and that dog needs to stop barking. Okay, now, All Might would defeat the Nomu probably in like 25-50 punches. But, of course, Bakugo wasn't doing anything, so Bakugo would, like, low-key want to help. And that's exactly what Bakugo did with explosions and 30% of One For All. Actually, by this point in time, I feel like she would have 35% of One For All. And, everything went way better. The other pro heroes arrived, and Shigaraki and Kurogiri got out of there. Everything got wrapped up. They got interrogated and see what they know. Yeah, everything went well. They got a week off. Now, they grew closer. By who grew closer? Sorry for that crack on my foot. By who grew closer? It would obviously be Bakugo and Izuku. Now, during the 1 week they had off, not 2 weeks in this timeline, 1 week, they would also train to get stronger. And yeah, they would go back to school after the week is done, and they would go into class. But they wouldn't see Aizawa. They would see Midnight. They was confused because this was their hero class, and we'll get onto that next part. And it's not really important because I won't be going into. It would be completely filler, by the way. But it will be the start of their relationship. So I'm going to just skip over it, and let's just say the next week they come back at school and they're ready for a sports festival, and Bakugo and Izuku are now together. If you want to know what happens in that week time, go to part 2.5 that I'm going to be uploading probably after I upload part 2. Not probably directly after I upload part 2. If you want to know what happens, then yeah. But if you don't, it's an 18 plus, by the way. Part 2, part 5 is an 18 plus. So if you don't want to know what happens, oh yeah, not 18, you can't see what happens. Just know that at the end of the day, they got together and they're now in a happy relationship. I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye.